Hello and welcome to another edition of Andy's Shed Live. This is Series 10, episode number 23 for Sunday the 19th of June 2022. Hello there and welcome to the show, everybody. We are with you once again for another Sunday evening here. And it's well, the sun is out and the sky is blue. It's the sun's shining today. It's looking quite good out there. So yeah, so we're here with you for another evening, and here live from the heart of Derbyshire. Who have we got with us in the chat today? Peter Blackburn's with us, Penfold's with us, Jimmy's here, Christopher's here, Cracky, Wesley's here. One or two others as well. Olmy gets here as well. So yeah, welcome to the show. It's busy at the minute. It's very, very busy at the moment because we are preparing for Sheffield Steam Rally next weekend, which is at Northampton. If you're thinking of going along, find them online. Google Sheffield Steam Rally, and you will find them on there. I'm still suffering from the hay fever and stuff, so yeah, it's just time of year, I guess. Yeah, we are getting ready for the Sheffield Steam Rally, so it is coming up fairly soon. Not much happened on the telephone front this week. Not a great deal at all, in fact, happened on the telephone front. But there is plenty happening on the restoration front, because I'm doing a bit of restoration work just through there. I will take you in and show you in a bit, because we've got vintage sewing machines coming out of his ears here at the minute. Vintage Singer sewing machines. We've got them everywhere, and I mean everywhere at the moment. The world's gone sewing machine crazy. So doing a bit of restoration work, and it is very heavy restoration work. Emphasis being on the heavy. Penfold says, are the Bevan boys busy mining the coal for the steam rally? Nothing that I take runs on on coal. Nothing I take is steam powered. Yeah, the coal doesn't matter to me. I dare say they're getting it from somewhere, but coal's an interesting thing at the minute, because there is talk of not being able to get coal soon at all, which will be a humongous pain in the backside if it happens. But I know some of the preserved railways are getting quite worried about it. Christopher says, did you see the photo of my street light that I sent? The answer to that one's no, Christopher, I haven't. It's not come through. Right, shall we go a little bit further, and I will show you what we've been up to. Okay, in fact, can I do it on this? I'm going to try something clever. I'm going to try and go from this piece of kit that I've got here, and see if I can do it so I can still see the chat. So while that warms up, I'll just carry on for a second. Remember, if you want to get in touch with us here at the show, you can. The website is here, andyshed.coldpress.net, and you can also find us on the old telephone forum, gpotelephones.proboards.com. And what's the other one I'm looking for? And we've also got a shop as well, andysemporium.coldpress.net. And finally, if you like what you see here and you want to support the channel, you can do it through Patreon. Patreon.com/AndyShed is the Patreon address. Right, I think it's all starting to power up. So let's see if I can do this, if it will do what I want it to do. Right, there we go. Is it going to do it? Let's try. Is it going to come on? Yes, it is. That's marvellous. Right, hang on a minute. Let's get that over there. Right. That. I should be able to move that over there. Oh, that doesn't work. Hang on. It was all going so well, wasn't it? What's happened to it now? Nope. Come on, I'm going to play the game here. It should in a moment. Work, I'm hoping. Right, let's have a little go with that. Okay, that's that, I think. That's there. Right, so I've got to turn off that. And add that like there, and add that like that, and then we should be able to go, I'm hoping, for a little trip. Hang on, that's got a very long delay on it. Is it going to do it? It's doing something, but it's kind of delayed. Right, it's kind of delayed, but it is there. So we're going to try this and see if this works, see if this enables me to go for a walk. So if it does, right, I've got multiple things to carry now, but we will see. If I just transition this camera to that camera, but we will see. If I just transition this camera to that camera, right, can you guys hear me? Okay, and can you see I'm off? Right. I'm off out here, and into here, because in here, and I can still see the stream, here is what we've been working on. And as you can probably see, this is a very old Singer sewing machine. Now this is a bit unusual because it's an industrial model, this particular one. So it's quite quite big, shall we say, because it's supposed to fit in an industrial table. Have we got the camera the other way around? There we are. So, there. Now you should be able to. And it's in quite a state, this. So what I've been doing is the beds of these are beautifully machined, but this had been repainted over the years. It's had a lot of hammer because it's an industrial machine, and it had a lot of hammer, been repainted probably a number of times. So what I'm doing is scraping with a screwdriver that I've had on the grinder to make it a perfectly flat end as a scraper, and scraping years and years of accumulated paint and God knows what off. And there's just tons and tons of it, but it is coming off reasonably well. And amazingly, I'm finding some what looks like high build primer underneath. I'm fairly sure that's not what Singer did. I'm fairly sure somebody else has done that. But it's gradually coming off, and gradually we are getting there. And I did look to see if I could find any decals, any nice designs under this top layer of paint that's been put on with a trowel, and the answer was I couldn't. I think it's all gone. I think it's all disappeared, all of that. But we are gradually getting down to a nice bed structure. As I say, it was originally all machined, so if I can get it back down to the metal, we should have a nice flat surface again. But we have got a machine number on here as well. If I can pick this up again and turn it around, you'll see there's a machine number on there. So we have got EA661655, and I've typed this into a website that tells you all Singer machine numbers, and it dates it to 1936. So this machine appears to date from 1936. So not the oldest. Oops, you fell over. Not the oldest by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not bad. Right.
but there's a whole lot of work to do. I think it's going to end up all being dismantled, all moving parts being dismantled and everything on it, because it really is in such a state. If you're wondering what this device is on the back here, this is a knee lifter that does the same as this for lifting the foot up and down. If it operates this bar, which in turn lifts the foot, you see, like that. It's a feature of industrial machines when you're wanting to do all your sewing very, very quickly. But this ground down screwdriver, so it's ground perfectly flat to use as a scraper, is working rather well. To clean things up. It's not fetching that off. There's stuff over there that needs to come off still, so we'll spin around, shall we? What's everybody saying in the chat? Wesley says, Andy, there was a 332 or similar on eBay with a Sheffield area card in the drawer. Thought it might be of interest to you. Yeah, the thing is, with the cards, it's very, very, very difficult to spot what's real and what isn't with the cards, because there are lots of very good fakes out there of the cards. Very, very good fakes. Right. Let me move you around a bit so you can sort of see, hopefully, what is happening. Where can I put you where you can see? Right. So, working on this bit here now. Oh, you fell over again. Because it's on a tablet, you see, I can't put it in a tripod. Because it's on a tablet. Like that. So yeah, Wesley, the card in the 332, it may have been real, it may not have been real, but it's only a piece of cardboard when all said and done, so they're very, very easy to reproduce. Penfold says, bet that's lead-based paint. I bet it's not, Penfold, because I bet it's modern paint. At least what's on the top. It's, if you were sanding it with a mechanical sander, you might breathe it in, but doing it this way, it's coming off in chunks anyway, so I'm not too worried. About it. I was watching a very interesting thing on YouTube today about a ship that's currently sailing around the Caribbean, that when you trace it back, it belongs to the Church of Scientology, you know, what Tom Cruise is a part of and all that. And apparently this ship is absolutely full of blue asbestos, and nobody seems to be stopping them. It's carrying passengers and all sorts around the Caribbean. According to the video that I was watching earlier. So interesting, I thought. Designed as a car ferry, then they realised there weren't enough passengers on the route to warrant a car ferry. And wouldn't you have thought they'd have thought about that before they did it, sort of thing? But no, apparently not. So it would be nice if I could get this black for next weekend so it can go to Sheffield Steam as part of the Sheffield Collectors Club display. Now that there, I believe that there now, that is the original paint underneath the new paint, I think. There. But I can't see any kind of markings on it. So oh, something white. Oh, look. Oh. Now. S. This is where scraping is sometimes good because it gives you that little bit more control sometimes than sanding does. N. G. We know what it's going to say, of course, don't we? So, E. Are we going to get an R? Yeah, I think we might get most of it. See if I can't get a bit more of that G to come through, but there's been a run of paint or something. It's gone down there. Particularly took it off. But I mean, it's too bad really to keep, but at least it gives us an idea of what it is and where it is for putting it back on. So we've found Singer, which I wasn't expecting to find written on that side. Let's see if we can find anything else. think there's going to be anything else on this side, because this is effectively the back. There might be something up here. Well, this has probably had a lot of hammer, and where the top layer of paint is coming off, it's going straight down to bare metal, because obviously this is where they get things dropped on them and all sorts. So. Doesn't look like I'm going to find anything there. That looks like it was a white decal, unless it was a gold one and the gold's just gone off the top of it. But yeah, interesting. This cover plate got anything on it? Doesn't look like it. Right. So, back to the remainder of this bed. Do you think we'll turn up anything else interesting? Whereas it says scrape a bit more and sanded might be sincere. No, I don't think it's sincere. I think S-I-N-G-E-R. It's definitely a G, that. So, now, typically, around the other side, God, this is so heavy. Typically around this side, it would have had Singer written just there. But I've already rubbed down a bit and not found anything. So perhaps it had rubbed off with age. So all I'm getting under this top layer of paint again is bare metal where it's been repainted to cover up bare metal. Now if the finish was good, they wouldn't have repainted it, would they? But as you can see, and the paint's coming off much easier just there because it's just gloss paint straight on bare metal. But it is coming off, which is good. So that's marvellous. So we're doing quite well. I'm quite pleased with what is starting to appear. For those who know a bit about old sewing machines, this is a Singer Model 31K, made at the Clydebank Singer Works up in Scotland. I think it's 1936 the date, so not a terribly old machines as these go, because you do still find them from the very early 1900s and stuff, and they do turn up. Now there's two little nubs here which are like rivety things, and I think they are the remains of where the badge was, because there would have been a badge. Somewhere on here. And possibly a decal. I'm not finding any trace really of the decal, which is a bit disappointing. But that's where the badge would have been there, an oval badge. There's the number, and on here is what it is, 31k, is it 15 or 16, I can't tell. Let's have a look in here, see if we can. So I can't find anything else other than that cinder around the other side there. So it looks like the restoration of this might have to be mainly guesswork. So I will keep going at this over the next couple of weeks or so, and give you updates of how it's all getting on. But yeah, there's a lot of work to do on it. A lot of work to do on it. It's not an easy restoration project, let me tell you. But it is worth doing, because these machines are getting rare, particularly these industrial ones. So, and they're still very usable as well. So, it's already starting to look better, to look smoother. I've uncovered a couple of oil holes in the bed here as well. The oil, the mechanism that's all under here, all the rotating bars and things under there that transmit the power to the bottom thread. So it's getting there. It's getting there. Right, what's everybody saying in the old chat? Let me put you up there a moment so I can see you. Right, Gambo says, "Hi peeps, I am here but was watching on my new TV which I just fixed on Fry. Can you remind me of your email again, Andy? As normal, I forgot it again." Yeah, the new email, Gambo, is simply andy@coalpress.net. CALLPRESS. andy@coalpress.net. Penfold says, "Are you watching in 4K, Gambo?" Not help if he is, Penfold, because it's only been transmitted in 720p. Gambo says, "I replaced all the LED strips, all the LED strips rather, as they were all blue light coming through. Christopher says, Andy, did you see the 332 phone I put on the forum? I don't think so, Christopher, but I've not looked at it in a few days. It's been that busy here, I've just not looked at the forum in a few days. It's been absolutely manic. Penfold says, I've been on a few ships with asbestos in the walls of the cabins. The fix was just to put a glorified duct tape over any holes in the walls. Yeah, I mean, the thing about asbestos is if you don't disturb it, it's fine. It's when you disturb it and get bits in the atmosphere floating about it becomes a problem. So, yeah. I've heard of it being painted over as well before now, and the paint sort of seals it in. Right. Penfold says, swat that fly away. What fly? I can't see a fly at the minute. There's lots of them because it's been warm. For a change, it's been warm. And it's not often warm, but it has actually been warm here for a few days. So, except for yesterday when it rained, it absolutely pelted it down yesterday. Right. So, anyway, we're getting there now with this. Do you want to have a closer look at it now? Now we've done a bit more. So here's how the bed is currently looking on it. So, bed looks reasonable, I think now. And there's number if anybody wants to type it into the internet to see all the details about it. EA 661 655. But there's a lot more rubbing down to do. And then to repaint it, I think I've really got to dismantle it. So that's a hellish job because you've got to take all this apart. And it's remembering how it goes together. That's the tricky part when you do that. So, yes. Could be interesting, it could. Could be interesting. Right. Shall we go back? I'll try now and go back. If I can. Right, hang on. How do we do this now? And do that. So you can see me again. And we go back this way. And this is working via Wi-Fi as well today, so I am actually quite surprised it's working. So, here we are. Back inside. Oh crikey, it's gone dark. Can you see me again? You can. Alright. Cool. Right, so I need to put all these things back now. So I come back and sit down. Right. Are we? I think we're about there now. I think we're about there. Right, can you hear me again? Right, that should be it, I should think. That went surprisingly well, didn't it? Doesn't normally work that well. Oh no, not normally. Right, I'm going to turn this off.
so it doesn't beep at me and things. But yeah, cool. I surprised myself how well that worked. Right, I can plug my phone back in now. Now I've been out there. This is where I'll get lots of silly little pop-up messages and things on it though. Doopy-doopy-doo-doo. There, like that. Right, we're in. We are in. And we've sorted that bit out. Cool. Okay, okay. So yeah, that's just one of the sewing machines. So how many's arrived in the last couple of weeks? 4, I think, have come in for work doing to them over the last couple of weeks or so. So that's keeping me busy. Also keeping me busy at the moment, these trim phone handsets. I've still got tons of them to do to restore, and still working on it. So yeah, there's still loads and loads and loads of those coming in. There's just quite a few of them. But work will be stopping for a few weekends now, because it is sort of rally season and that. And although I am still taking COVID very seriously, and I'm still not going within 2 meters of people, I've worked out I can go to stationary engine rallies and things and stay behind the rope and not go and mingle with the crowds. So I will be doing exactly that. So this coming weekend, i.e. next weekend, week today, it's Sheffield Steam and Vintage over there at North Anston. And the following weekend we've got an event at the Sheffield Model and Experimental Engineers, otherwise known as SME, who have a site with a miniature railway right opposite Door Station, in the outskirts of Sheffield there. If you want to go along to that, that's happening next weekend. Open to the public on Sunday, members only on Saturday, though, that one. Yeah, and then a fortnight after that, on the Sunday, I think we're at Cromford Mill. A fortnight after that, on the Sunday, I think we're at Arkwright's Mill at Cromford with stationary engines, which I've still got to get ready. So I've still got stationary engines to get sorted out for that. So yeah, there's all sorts on at the minute, all sorts happening. Don't know whether I'm coming or going really. So it's quite a good job the telephones have gone a bit quiet, because yeah, it's well, just wouldn't have time to do anything with them if it hadn't. So yeah. Right, okie dokie. Jambo says, I've sent you pics, hopefully to the right address. Was it with a small or capital A? I don't think capital or small letters in emails makes any difference, does it? It's all small anyway. But I don't think it makes any difference. Shall I have a look and see if it's arrived? Because Donna Christopher's have arrived. So I don't know where they've gone, but we'll have a little look. I'll see if anything's come in. Of course, there may be a delay on it as well, because emails do not always arrive when you've sent them. It's a strange thing. Right, what have we got? Oh, Christopher's street light is here now. Right. Oh, it looks like a Revo, this street light of Christopher's. That says Sylvania on it. Right, we've got pictures of Christopher's vintage street light. If I can get it up. Right, Christopher, I think we've got it. Just bear with me a second. Get rid of the cursor. So, there's Christopher's vintage street light. It's not the same shape as my one. It is the round one. Very similar to what we would call a Revo lamp. I don't know if it is or not, but it's very similar to what we had. But I'm not sure if it is one of those or not. And Gambo's TV we have also got, by the looks of it, if I can just do that. TVs and internet phones, it says. Crop bottom. Right there. Okay. So there's Gambo's TV, and the bottom one, it is rather blue, the bottom one. I'll give you that. So what causes that? Is that some of the coloured LEDs? That must be the red and the green LED. No, what are they? Red, green and blue, aren't they? So that must be the red and the green LEDs packed up. Although there seems to be a bit of red in it. So perhaps it's just the green ones packed up. What packed up in that then, Gambo? What was packed up in that on that TV? Right. And there's the next photo shows the LED backlights on the panel. Or was it the backlight that had packed up? Was it the backlight that had gone funny? That was showing a blue backlight instead of a white backlight. But there are the LED strips that you get in the back of basically all flat screen TVs these days, and it's just what lights the screen up. So if that decides it's going to just all go blue, because some of the because the LEDs have all set themselves to blue, then you will get that sort of effect. Nice reel-to-reel tape deck there as well, by the way, Gambo. Looks very, very similar to the one we've got in the radio studio. Very similar. Right. What else have we got? Oh, and here's the TV after its repair. We'll be getting you into the repair cafes, Gambo, if you can do things like this, because as you can see there, it's now much better. In fact, the colour on the new one is better than the colour on your main one. Now, from that, your main one looks a bit red there. So, yeah. Very, very good. Right, have we got any more? Oh, box of wires. Box of wires. Telephone treasure. All sorts of wires to connect up and things. Oh, and what's that? That is some kind of pendant phone box. No, or is it? No, it's the way around the photo is, isn't it? That photo should be around 90 degrees, I think. Yeah, it should. Oh, and that one's totally upside down. Oh well. But you get the idea. And what's happened to that? I mean, I'm guessing the front plate on that, it must be a metal front plate, and it's rusted. Yeah, oh, it is. You can see. Out of order, out of order, out of order, out of order. 212 and blank. So you couldn't call many places from that phone, could you? There it is underneath. Looks like the feet have gone a bit funny. Rubber feet do sometimes go a bit strange, depending on what they've been in contact with. They can sort of do weird things chemically, I've found in the past. And inside one of those phones, not actually a great deal. Cool, excellent. All exciting stuff there. Right, that's it. I think we've done it. Right, mega. So yeah, Campbell's got a few interesting articles there. It looks like he's going to be working on. Be interesting if you can get that working and all the push buttons working and that, so you can communicate room to room with it and stuff. It'll be very interesting to see if that works. It says my tape is just a Sony 280, not as fancy as yours. I think the one that we've got in the studio is not that fancy. You know, it's not an overly fancy thing that we've got in the studio. yeah, that is it's quite a nice one actually. I do actually quite like that one, which we'll show you again if I can transition it there. Yeah, yeah, excellent. Reel to reel technology, you can't beat it. Reel to reel tape. I'm still, by the way, working on pneumatic video machines. I've still got a stack of them here. I think there's about 4 or 5 machines left here, but I'm gradually sending them to the radio studio, basically just for want of somewhere to put them, because they are so heavy, and when they arrive there, they will go into the list of things to do to have capacitors changed and that, because there's various bits of kit at the radio station that need capacitors changing as well. So I'm going to do it all there together. So I'll have a mass capacitor swapping day, I think. I've got my capacitors now from CPC. They've all arrived in the post, so I just need to sit down with the soldering iron and get them in. Christopher says he sent a photo of the Red Rattler. He says, did you see the Red Rattler he's put on his channel? I've seen it before, but not recently, Christopher. Right, if I do get messages, it might show me the Red Rattler. Oh yeah, here he is. Usual suspect. Where are we? There. Somewhere. There's Christopher on the right as you look at it there. On board the Red Rattler. By the looks of it. Look at the sort of fancy well, I was going to say marquetry, but it's not, is it? I don't know what it is. It's some kind of pressed panel. Someone's got pressed 3D panel above the door and that. You don't get that on commuter trains these days, do you? And that's what it looks like from the outside, of course. But still can't quite believe they survived as long as they did. The restoration job there, though, is looking a bit iffy at the top. look at the thing on the roof. That is looking decidedly as if they've painted over the rust up there. But yeah, it's quite a thing, that is. Oh, there he is again. But they've done a fantastic job on the on the internals of it. Really good job on the inside of it. Really good job. Look at the seats. Very fancy. I'm liking the Red Rattlers. Yeah. Right. What is everybody up to? Penfold says, I bet those capacitors in Gambo's phone need changing. Possibly. Gambo says, to be honest, Penfold, I think everything needs changing. But yeah, you never know, though. You never know. You might be surprised. It all depends how much use they actually get. Because of course, when we do a conversion on a normal phone that we're going to connect to the normal telephone system, we now wire the capacitor out that's in the phone because we use the one in the wall socket. So that's kind of how you get away with that. But I don't know with those because if you're just connecting on phone to phone, you're going to be using all the internal components in the phone, aren't you? So you might have to change the capacitors. I will bet you though, if you do change the capacitors, the ones that you have to replace them with will be a lot smaller, because that is one thing that has happened. Capacitors have got a lot smaller over the years. They really have shrunk down. Right. Cool. Yeah, I was going to say I've got some of the capacitors that are going in the video machines here, but I've not. I've actually took them and put them in a toolbox, ready for them to go to the radio station. The radio station is still not on air, by the way, for those who have been asking. Basically, it's a big sort of sit down and go through everything technically and make sure every bit of every device works, and at the moment it doesn't. We're finding things that don't work as we're really going into detail with everything. So that's taking quite a lot of doing, quite a lot of going through to sort all that out. But we also need radio presenters when it does start. So if anybody fancies having a go on the radio station, if anybody fancies being a presenter on PVR when it starts, then drop me an email or drop me a message via the website andyshed.coldpress.net. Okie dokie. Christopher says the roof of the Red Rattlers are covered with tar to stop water going through the roof. Tar? That's an interesting way of doing it. What it would normally be, is canvas. You normally have a wooden roof made out of planks to give you that sort of slight curve, and then you would cover that in canvas normally, and then paint the canvas, generally with a very thick paint that involved a lot of lead. But it does crack after a while, so you do have to kind of keep on top of it, and every few years you do have to re-canvas the roofs of vintage rolling stock. And they had this problem with the trams in Melbourne, and what they ended up doing with Melbourne is they started painting the roofs of their trams with a kind of rubberized paint that didn't crack. So as the wooden bodies of the trams moved and flexed and expanded and contracted with the heat and the cold, the rubberized paint expanded and contracted with it, so it didn't crack. So they reckon that solved a lot of their leaky tram problems in Melbourne. Some kind of rubberized paint. Don't ask me what it was, I don't know. But if the Red Rattler people want to know, they need to get in touch with the tramway in Melbourne and find out what it was, because it was some sort of rubber paint. I believe it was white coloured as well, what they used in Melbourne. Hey pot pickers, DJ Gambo here, he says. Well, if you think you can do it, Gambo, we are interested to know. But yeah, cool. Right, okie dokie. There we have it. I think that is probably almost a wrap again for another day. Yeah, nothing telephone related to tell you really. I've still got the same things here that I've had here waiting for a bit of work doing on them for quite some considerable time, including these couple of German phones down here, and this American 3-slot payphone is still here as well, wanting something doing to it. Basically wanting innards. If anybody's got any innards for an American 3-slot payphone, get in touch, because I bought one without any innards in it. the perils of eBay. But yeah, it is something I would like to get restored as well, that, because it'd be a nice thing to hang on the wall if it was restored. Right, I think that is probably about as far as we go today. You'll notice I've still got my cough, so I'm going to go and suck on a Strepsil or something, see if I can make it any better. Thanks to everybody for taking part once again. As I said before, if you like what we do here and you want to support the channel, you can via Patreon. It's here, patreon.com/Andy's Shed. And we will be away now for 2 or 3 weeks. Sheffield Steam next week, then Smee the week after, and then the week after that we should, in theory, be back. So 2 weeks off in theory, and then we should be back. So no show next week, no show the week after. Week after that though, we should be back on, all being well, if everything works out and goes as it should to plan. In the meantime though, if you want to get in touch with us, remember you can, andy@coldpress.net or via the website. Yeah, have a fantastic couple of weeks while we're away. And if you want to come and see us, either at Sheffield Steam Rally next week or at Smee the week after, or on the 17th of July at Arkwright's Mill at Cromford, feel free to come down and say hello. But for me, for now, have a fantastic week, fortnight, whatever it is ahead. Oh, just got a couple of messages coming in. Jimmy says, when I could walk, I used to do hospital radio for about 20 years. I'm in a wheelchair now though, so that could cause a problem. Oh, I don't know. There are plenty of people in wheelchairs who are working on radio stations. You don't have to do all the jumping around that you used to do, Jimmy. You know, you used to sort of... There's a very good video somewhere actually of a young lad on YouTube demonstrating how a radio station used to be, where he's sort of running around the station, throwing carts into cart machines and queuing up records and all that sort of thing. And you did have to run about a bit to do it. But now, because it's all computer based, you basically just sat at a desk. So once you get to the desk and that, it's all within reach from a seated position these days. So it's not the running about queuing records onto machines and finding carts and all that. All that's gone in the modern world. You just basically sit there now, if you want to do it that way. Gamma says, cheers Andy, see you in 3 weeks or so. Thank you very much. Miguel says, see you all, some nice items seen, have a good time at the shows. Thank you, Miguel. Christopher says, tar on the red rattlers is due to sparks coming off the pantographs, so you can't use canvas. You can use canvas though, Christopher, because sparks come off the pantographs and the trolleys on the Melbourne trams. You can use pantograph because it's painted. I mean, you can use canvas because it's painted over. Right, that is it for now. We will see you in 1, 2, 3 weeks time. Watch out for other stuff coming up in the meantime, and the patrons watch out for little little blog entry things on Patreon, hopefully from some of the shows. But from me for now, have a great couple of weeks, and we'll see you very soon with more from Andy's Shed Live. Bye for now, everybody.